Before we go ahead and get started with the video, I just want to remind you guys that if you have any questions regarding dropshipping or just business in general, go ahead and leave them down in the comment section, as well as if you guys have video suggestions, go ahead and leave them down below. Now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. Like I said in my previous video, I want to shed some more light into this topic. I want to talk about this topic more, and that's chargebacks and merchant processors and that side of dropshipping, just because I feel like it doesn't get covered enough. I feel like not a lot of people are talking about it, which, like I said, I don't understand why, since it plays such a huge role in dropshipping. And I wish somebody would have told me about it. I wish it was more known, or that merchant processor community was more known before I got into dropshipping, because like I said, it plays a huge role. Without it, you're not able to accept any type of credit cards or debit cards. There's no way for you to get any type of payment. So you basically don't have a store if you don't have a merchant processor. If you don't have a way to accept money, you're pretty much useless, or the store is pretty much useless. And most merchants scare off really easy, which I didn't know. They scare off so easily that at any point they could just shut down your account, close it down, and then hold your money for 90 to 180 days, depending on how risky they believe that you are, or depending on what it is that you did to get your account banned in the first place. And then sometimes you get banned for the stupidest reasons. It makes no sense, to be honest. Sometimes you get banned and the problem isn't even your fault. A good example is what I talked about in the previous video, or in the last video, was that merchant processors could easily close you down if you get too many chargebacks. And those chargebacks don't necessarily have to be your fault. It could be chargeback because people kept buying stuff with stolen credit cards. They go ahead and put the blame on you as a merchant or as a seller. And then you could go ahead and get your money locked up for anywhere between 90 to 180 days, and none of it would have been your fault. And if you plan to sell stuff like bongs or knives or anything that would typically require an ID when you go to a store, you're not going to be able to sell with the normal merchant processor. You would have to get a high-risk merchant processor for that. And it makes sense because a normal merchant processor like Stripe or like PayPal wouldn't let you sell stuff like that, because they don't know how you're screening your customers. They don't know if you're requiring ID. And I get it. I get that part. But the thing is that nobody tells you this. You have to figure this out by yourself, or at least I did. For me right now, it seems like common sense that they would do that, but for a lot of people, that's not common sense. Not a lot of people know about this. As a matter of fact, not a lot of people know about merchant processors. So it's not common knowledge, and I want to go ahead and talk about it so you guys could better understand merchant processors and get an idea of what you could and can't sell. For example, for knives, bongs, or any adult related content, it's not going to fly with PayPal. It's not going to fly with Stripe or Shopify payments. It's not going to work. You're going to have to get a high-risk merchant, and you could do that by going to authorized.net and then telling them that you want a or they're going to be a payment gateway. So you're going to tell them that you want a merchant that allows you to do high-risk transactions. And the only downside to this is that high-risk transactions usually take more money up front, or they take more money and time to set up, but you're going to be able to accept those payments when you're selling high-risk items. So they are going to be costly. They are going to be a little bit more of a pain in the ass to deal with. You're not going to be getting your money every 2 days or 3 days. You're going to be getting your money every week or every month if you go with the high-risk merchant, or if you decide to sell those type of products. And if you guys are setting up a brand new store, or if it's your first time creating a store, or just your first time getting into dropshipping, I would highly suggest that you stay away from any of those products, because you're not going to know what you're doing if you're just getting started. You're going to have to take extra steps that you normally wouldn't when selling normal stuff, or when selling stuff that's not high risk. And for that reason, I would just recommend that you stay away from that type of industry while you're learning. After you've learned how to work dropshipping and how to do different stuff, and you kind of got accustomed or used to working with dropshipping and Shopify and dealing with merchants and all that stuff, then you could go ahead and sell adult related content, or any content that requires ID, or just any high risk products. You could go ahead and sell that. But in the meantime, just focus on learning everything. Focus on sticking to products that are not high risk. So if you take anything away from this video, is if you guys are starting off and are planning to sell stuff like bongs, knives, adult content, or just anything in general that would require an ID, please stay away from it. If you're a beginner, do not sell that, because you're going to end up burning your account. And the worst thing is that you're going to get banned from your merchant processor. Most likely they're going to blacklist you, so you're not going to be able to open up a new account within 7 years. And it's not a fun being in that blacklist. Trust me, I'm on it. I had a couple of my students be on it, and then I helped them get back into Stripe and PayPal, but that's only through doing all these hoops and doing all these things. And the reason I want to talk about this is because I want to help prevent you guys from getting blacklisted. I want to help prevent you guys from having to struggle like I do and some of of my students do, because it's a pain in the ass having to jump through all these hoops. I was actually talking to one of my students and we were just going back and forth and saying how they treat us like criminals, or like we're some type of criminals, because we have to jump through so many hoops just to be able to receive our own money, just because we're blacklisted. And I don't want you guys to go through that, so that's why I'm trying to make these videos to make you guys aware of that. But if you do happen to get blacklisted, or you watch this video and you already are blacklisted, you could feel free to grab my payment revive kit, which I show you guys how to get back into it. Now, I could easily sit here and not talk about it and not bring awareness to this topic and just sell you the course, like, okay, yeah, sell whatever you want, and you know, if you get banned, buy this course. I could easily do that, but I'm not, because trust me, it's such a pain in the ass. So please guys, refrain from selling any high risk items when you're starting your dropshipping store, especially if you don't have any idea what you're doing. Just wait till you become a little bit more advanced into it and you have a little bit more experience in dealing with merchant processors and just dealing with having a dropshipping store in general. So that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.